So this is going to be a comparison between the Solo stove, which I'm sure everybody watching this knows, this Amazon one that I paid about $60 Canadian for off of Amazon, and it's called the Dotem Truck Tabletop Fire Pit. And then this one I got from a Canadian store called Princess Auto. It's kind of like a Harbor Freight down in the States, and it is the Red Mountain Valley, and I paid $30 Canadian for this one. It's definitely the smallest of the three. So I want to do a bit of a comparison between them to see if the cheaper Chinese ones, I'm sure they're all made in China. In fact, I do know this one here says it's made in China. I'm quite sure this one says China too. I'm sure the Solo stove is, but don't quote me on that. I just want to see how these ones do compared to this, to the Solo stove one. And I'll start with the size difference. This is kind of directly marketed against the Solo stove, Mesa XL. And you can see, it's not off kilter here, but it is a little bit taller. And we'll do a bit of a measurement here. So let me take the rings off. So this one actually has a removable bottom so you can clean it out. That is one thing that the Solo stove doesn't have, is a solid bottom. I don't know if that's better or worse, but that's just one point to note out. The smaller Red Mountain Valley one, it also has a removable bottom. It doesn't have a ring on it there, but it is removable. And just to get a bit of a difference here. So from the bottom of that to the top there, we're about 4.5 or 4 3/4 inches. That's how many wood chips. I guess that's, you know, from the base to the very top. This one you're looking at about 6 inches, so it's definitely deeper by about 1.5 inches or so. And then the smaller one here, from bottom to top, you're about 4.5 inches there, just over 4, sorry. And it's definitely narrower. Now the width of this one here is about 6, the actual burn chamber, 6 1/4 on the burn chamber. This one here is also about 6 1/4 on the burn chamber. And then this one here is about 5 inches on the burn chamber. And yeah, so that just kind of compares them size-wise. So I just want to note some features of these is they all have these, they all do have these burn rings. And this one seems to be, I guess they're all some kind of a stainless steel. But this one obviously fits his own size. This one belongs to this stove, and then this one belongs to the Solo stove. Now, interestingly enough, or not interestingly enough, but just a note that these do swap. These do seem to be interchangeable. So as far as circumference, they pretty well are the same size. And some other features that you might notice, or I've made note of, both the Amazon ones, they have these little legs on the bottom that fold under. So they fold down and they fold in like that. And that is metal, so if you do put that on the table, you could risk scratching something depending on the table surface. Now this one here, the one from Princess Auto, it did come with a little rubber mat. I just don't have it with me at the moment. I'm not at my own place. But it did come with a little rubber mat to set this down on so you don't scratch anything. The one I got from Amazon, it also has these little legs on the bottom that fold under. It did not come with a rubber mat. And then the Solo stove, it does not have those on the bottom. It's completely colored on the bottom, like whatever powder coat they use or whatever. But it's got this little portable stand with the rubber feet. So I like that it's got the rubber feet. But I guess one downside about the stand is when you fold it up to put it in here to store, because they all do come with storage bags. If you store it in there, this does get dirty. I mean, you can see my hand's got the black soot on it. And then when you're pulling this out, it can get a little bit dirty. So that's the only downside to this one, I'd say, that I've come across after using them all. I just don't like the stand separate. It just, if you're making it portable and bringing it with you, this will get dirty because you have to store it in there for it to fit in the bag. So that's the only downside that I've come across. I've used all 3 stoves now. I do like them all. They are a tiny bit different, but I like them all equally. So I'm going to wait till the night. I'm going to come back and do a burn test to see how long they burn and if the flames seem to be fairly good or not. And then, yeah, we'll just do a test and show you guys that and see if there's any big differences or not. I'll just throw it out there. They pretty well are the same. But I just want to show you guys on how these Amazon and, you know, I call them aftermarket or knockoff Solo stoves work compared to the brand name one. Actually, one last thing I will note before I go is this one here, the smaller one. It came with this this little chimney thing here. So that's supposed to go in there like that, and then you put the chips around it, and it's supposed to help it burn better. I don't know if it really makes much of a difference, but that's just one thing to note, is it did come with that. And one last thing actually is the Solo stove and this Amazon brand one. They do come in different colors. I got the box for the Amazon one still. I don't have the box for the Solo stove, but you can find them on Amazon pretty easy, or their website, to see what colors they have. This one has a, what's it look like? 6 colors there. When I ordered mine, not all these were listed. In the States maybe they are, but in Canada they were not all listed. So the Solo stove definitely had the biggest selection of colors you could pick from, and the prices varied between colors. As far as this one, I don't know if the price would have varied based on color. This was all that was there when I ordered it. So yeah, and then this one, the other knockoff one, it was only stainless steel. There was no other options for that. And I haven't really looked into this brand to see if they make others, but as far as the store I purchased it at, this was the only color they had. So now we will do the part where we light them all. I got the 3 up on tables here. I got them each with, these are half cup scoops. I got each one with 6 of these for a total of 3 cups in total. You can kind of see how it sits there. Got the fire starter in the middle. This one's almost full, and then this one's kind of halfway full. So it is currently 9:30 here, so I'm going to light all 3, and then once they get going, I'll probably come back and show you guys a little bit more, and then we can kind of compare them to see how they do. So just light this. Get this going good. There we go, first one lit. Get this one going. And now the Solo stove last. So now as they all start to get going, we'll let them start up, and then I'll come back once they have flames. Like I say, it's 9:30, and we'll see how long they last on 3 cups of pellets. So it has been roughly 15 minutes since we started. And this one here, this is the Amazon one. It's hard to tell, but it's just started to kind of go smokeless, as we'll call it. Oh, this one actually just started too. So they both went roughly after 15 minutes of starting. And then this one down here, the Solo stove, is not quite there yet, but it looks like it will probably start shortly here. So these both took about 15 minutes to start, 15, 16 minutes to start to get smokeless. And then this one's probably still putting off a bit of smoke. So it is now 9:50, and the Solo stove one here has just started to have the flames come out of the top, so it's starting to fully go smokeless there. It's coming and going. So that took, it was 9:46 or 9:47 when the other one started. So this one's about 3 or 4 minutes behind on when it started to go. So I will let them burn, and then we'll come back and give an update for how long they take. Just a note, kind of the heights of the flames. The Amazon one, I see if I can go wide angle there. The Amazon one seems to have a fairly high flame. This other no-name one, bit of a smaller flame. And then so far this one is the smallest. We'll see if that changes once they burn a little bit more. But that one definitely is the biggest flame from Amazon. So looking at the Solo stove here, its flame has started to get bigger. It is a bit of a windy night, so it's hard to compare the full height of them. But the Solo stove flame has gotten bigger from a few minutes ago. This one, I believe, is the smallest, and then that one still seems to be the highest. Like I say, it's hard with the wind blowing to tell, but I'd say that's the biggest, followed by the Solo stove, and this one here in the middle is the smallest so far. So it might be hard to tell on video, but I do want to note that there is no smoke really coming from any of them. You can get the odd faint smell, but nothing strong at all from any of them. And it is a windy night, and I guess the nice part about these stoves burning with the pellets is there's no sparks or anything coming off them. So you don't really, I mean, you do have to worry, but you don't have to worry about sparks flying too far and catching anything around it on fire, which is kind of nice. So it is currently 10 o'clock, so it's been exactly a half hour since they started. This one here is starting to go down. It's hard to see inside, but there's not a whole lot of pellets left. They have gone down quite a bit. And as I say, it's been a half hour, and that one, you can tell it's definitely gotten a lot smaller. These other two seem to still be going pretty strong though. So once this one actually has no flames left, I'll give you time on that, but it is starting to go down now. So it is 10:07. It's been 37 minutes. You can see this one has the tiniest bit of flames, but for the most part it is out. That'll probably smolder for quite a while after. But this one still seems to be going pretty strong. And then the solo stove, you can see, well, I don't know how well you can see actually, but you can see a lot of the coals there, and it is burning down. So we'll keep the time going, and we'll see how much longer these other two go. But this one lasted about 37 minutes with actual flames coming out of it. And you could add more to keep it going, but for the sake of this test, we'll stop there. And then we'll just see how much longer these go. So if I'll focus there, it is now 10:16. This one is just smoldering down. You can see the bottom of it, not much going on. This one's pretty well out, but it's still hot, and tiny bit of flame in there. And then this one is almost out, but it's still going. I actually might give them all a bit of a stir and see if that brings them back or not. If it does not, I will not update it. And if it does, I will show that. But like I say, it's 10:17 now. This one's pretty well out of flame. This one has a tiny bit of flame left, and I will stir them and see what happens there. So it is, if it focuses there, 10:22. It won't show on the screen, but it's 10:22. This one's pretty well done glowing. It was a lot hotter before, but it's pretty well out. This one has a lot of black in there, but there is glowing underneath. It looks like it has a decent amount of ash left. And then this one's glowing quite hot still, but there's no flames in any of them. So we got roughly about 50 minutes, or almost 50 minutes out of these two, and then we got less out of this. So the Amazon one here, it burnt through it the quickest. These two, this other no-name one and the solo stove, burned roughly the same amount of time. Something I will add though is this one burnt really strong until it didn't anymore, whereas this one started to kind of slow down quicker, have a smaller flame for a longer period. So if that makes a difference to you, I don't know, but like I say, this one burnt strong till it didn't. It pretty well went down quick. And then this one definitely slowed down over a longer period of time. So as you can see, it is now 10:30, and this one here has made a little bit of a comeback. It's still quite a few coals on the bottom, especially compared to this one here and this one as well. It's hard to see that one because that one's pretty well out. But that one there is pretty well empty, not a whole lot of coals. You can still feel heat, but not a whole lot of coals left. But this one has still got some flame to it, and like I say, it's 10:30, so this one has lasted longer than the solo stove so far. But it's not like it's going to come back big. It's probably just going to smolder away for a little bit in there. So this is the next morning. You can kind of see how much ash is in them. The two bigger ones look like they have less ash, with the solo stove maybe taking a tiny bit of wind, so it may have burned more than the other one here. And then this one looks like it has the most, but it's hard to tell because it's a smaller space. So I think the point I take away from this is these cheaper ones, this one was about 60 Canadian, as I mentioned, and then this one was 30 bucks Canadian, versus the solo stove, which is, around 100 or a little bit more Canadian. They're definitely, I'd say, pretty near just as good. Just one note on the smaller one. It looks like it did burn a tiny bit dirtier, just based on the black smoke around the top. All of these were clean. I wouldn't judge this because it has been outside a bit, but it does look like it burned a little bit dirtier. But I'd say overall, the cheaper alternatives work pretty well just as well. These ones could obviously last a longer time burning if you put more pellets in them. They definitely weren't filled to their capacity. So I think the aftermarket ones have caught up to the solo stove, and if you want to save half the price roughly, or In this case, you know, you can buy 4 of these for about the price of one solo stove. I definitely recommend getting some of these aftermarket ones. That's not to say the solo stove isn't good. It's definitely just as good as the others. And longevity, it might last longer. These ones are fairly new, so it's hard to tell. And this one's about 2 years old. But so far, these cheaper, I'm assuming they're all Chinese alternatives, are definitely better, or not better, but just as good as the solo stove.